How you been though? You all right?
Good.
I feel like I ain't seen you in time, but I've seen you in everywhere.
No, the last time we saw each other, Brits.
Was it the Brits?
The Brits. And you were like, hi, Oti, nice to see you. Bye. And I was like, where you going? Come talk to me. Yeah, it was the Brits. The Brits or the NTAs, somewhere. I don't know. I was having a good time. Couldn't remember.
It might have been the NTAs, you know.
I love the NTAs.
See, the NTAs is... I like the NTAs, but there's so much going on, man. You know you got to do that red carpet.
That's where I saw you. When you're right, OT. Okay, see you later, yeah? And
the red carpet is so stressful because it's like everyone's trying to get their picture in it. And I get it. Yeah, I get it. I don't really like doing interviews if I ain't got nothing to promote.
I don't do the interviews.
Yeah. So if I got nothing to promote, they're like, Mo, come and talk about this. I'm like, I ain't really got nothing to talk about, you know? I don't want to waste your time. I appreciate it. Because you know what it was like? There was a time when you done it, you're like, I want to speak to everyone.
Everyone. And then you're like, I will wait in this 2-hour queue for that one photo.
Yeah. And then when you get to a point where you're like, Nah, I'm all right, you know? when your PR person is like, yeah, so Oti, just come over here. Yeah, if you just stand right there. Yeah. And you're like, oh, right, this is what it's like, yeah? And you can skip the queue.
My PR is literally outside. She's like, arrive at this time, we'll do the red carpet for 5 minutes and then you're done. That's me.
Yeah.
That's why I love the events.
I must think it must be so much harder, though, for women when it comes to, like, the red carpet because it's like, you know, outfit, makeup, hair. I've been on some of them red carpets and I'm like, boy, my face is creamed, my hair's brushed. I'm good to go. You know?
Let me tell you, unintentionally, so have I. I've had one incident. I think it was the Brits because I love the Brits because it's a bit wild, right?
Yeah.
And
the Brits is a vibe.
Doing the red carpet with Ashley Walters and I was getting warm and slowly but surely I could just feel the wig slipping.
Oh, was it slipping?
Slipping back. Oh. And then I sat on the ITV table with Joel Dommett and Joe. And you know Joe, when he talks to you, he looks a little bit up.
Yeah.
Like, why is this guy looking up? And I feel a draft.
Yeah.
I check my phone. It's here. It's here. Halfway. And I'm like, these white people will never tell me my wig is spotted on. They're too polite.
Not in this climate right now. There's no chance, boy. They don't know if that's the style or not. Yeah.
They were like, are we gonna save her or did she do that because it's the braids? Just ran to the toilet. So yeah, now I know what you mean. Now I make sure that I'm put together.
Yes, yeah.
I'm late, but I'm put together.
Yeah. And you know what I've always liked about you, Oti, yeah? From the moment I met you, yeah.
Oh God.
You was like, don't get me wrong, you're always yourself, yeah? But like, you know, you meet someone and you see their real authentic self from day one. Sometimes, even for me, yeah, like, it might take you a couple times you meet me that you really see the real Mo.
Yeah.
Like, I give everyone the same, like, oh, what's good, man? Nice to meet you. Big up. Yeah, man. Yeah. And then after you know me, you're like, oh, all right, yeah, Mo's chill, man. Yeah. Like, it'll be like, yeah, Mo, set in 5 minutes. I'm like,
nah.
Allow me, man. I'm coming, man.
Allow it.
Yeah. Okay. And then people were like, oh, okay. I thought you was one of them teacher pet guys because you're looking at the scripts and
I remember going to dance and then I have to give you a call time like 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
Just to get you moving.
Yeah, man. So, everyone I work with, they're like, right, you're so laid back, man. So but then you're also like so on it and I'll be like, yeah, okay. All right, yeah, can I get green tea, please? Okay, great. And so I say that bit and people look at me like, hey, bro, why are you doing all this, man?
And I just get there and I'm loud. I'm like, hey, Mo, we're late. This is not African timing.
But then the first time I met you was when we done Masked Dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never forget because around those times, it was...
lockdown.
It was lockdown. We was in Wembley Arena.
Yes.
I'd never forget this. And I walked in on the job and I had only just done a little bit of like Masked Singer at that time anyway. But even when I'd done it, it was still like lockdown. And I walked in and I could hear Cardi B. And I was like, Rob, boy, who is blazing that? Who is blazing Cardi B? And I was like, okay, it's definitely not Joel. It's not Joel. Because Joel was like proper professional.
Yes,
he's on his team.
Yes, writing the script.
And I was like, oh, is that Davina? And like Davina's vibes, innit? We know Davina's good vibes. Like Jonathan, he'll play like some James Bond theme music or something, or soul or like proper old school. Like he brings a vinyl player into his dressing room. So I thought, was that, right, is that Oti? I was like, "Raw boy," and then like it was loud. What song was it? I think it was WAP.
Yeah, WAP. It was such a weird experience for me actually, that because I had just left Strictly. No, I was still in Strictly.
Yes,
and I'm so used to, once we do the show, we celebrate. We bring a speaker, we bring a bottle of wine, and we have a good time after the show. This was my first ITV experience, and I got there. I was playing the music.
Yeah.
I had my little bottle in my little fridge.
Yeah.
After the show, I was ready for a good time.
Yeah.
By the time I was done with my hair and makeup, everyone was gone.
Yeah.
Everyone was
out. I was like, listen, bye.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gone.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought this was ITV. I thought this was where the party's at. I went in Davina's room. It was clear. You wouldn't think anyone was there. You were the only one left there. You were laughing. You're like, Oti, what's going on? I'm like, I'm confused.
Yeah, because you were like, hey, what's going on, man? And that was that. Me after the show, I'm like, whew, tired, but let me just sit down for a piece, just chill out, relax. He was like, yeah, I remember he said, do you want some wine? I was like, I said, I don't know if we're allowed to do that. You know?
I was like, I'll pour it to you. I'm still outside the room. I'm still 2 meters away from you, but let's have a drink. And then I remember we got told off. And then they were like, after the show, no talent is allowed to stay. You're supposed to all go home.
Yeah.
Never brought it again until the final, though.
No, but it was good, man. It was a great introduction to meeting you, man. I was like, yeah, boy, big up Oti, man. Big up, Oti's vibes, man. She's good vibes, man. Speaking of vibes, you grew up in South Africa.
Yeah.
You know what? Weirdly, I loved about South Africa. I think when I went around, I want to say August. So am I right in thinking? I think we went 20.
Oh, great! I thought you were going to say pre-1994. That was going to change the whole direction of the conversation.
Not them times, boy.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, you made it out. Well done.
But when we went, so I was there for 2.5 weeks. Went to Rustenburg, and we was in Cosmo City. And what I liked about it, the authenticness, what going back to, it's just like the sun was out, but people had woolly hats on and jackets. And I said, what's going on here, man? Why has everyone got a woolly hat on and a jacket? It is baking outside. It's 22. And everyone was like, nah, bro, this ain't hot, you know?
Listen, 22 is attempted murder for us. You're trying to kill me at 22.
But also, it's just like, it's I only say until you go there, you understand it as a place. Because it's like the community that it has, like the people there, where people can smile, they will smile at your face and they'll be like, yeah, like, when you leave, we need your shorts.
Yeah, we'll rob you.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? You're not joking? Like, no, like.
How many times did I say to you, you look like a walking ATM?
Oh, yeah, bare times.
I was like, that necklace, I want it.
But the authenticness was amazing. Like, I got to experience that. And I knew, obviously, that you're from South Africa, you grew up there. But then I didn't know that growing up, like when you went to university, you studied civil engineering. Yeah. Yeah, and that's so different away from
the dancing.
What you do now and stuff.
Completely.
So what made you kind of pursue that?
I mean, my parents, coming from a real African household and the history of South Africa, really, where my parents grew up in the era where they had to fight politically for their education. So the only thing they know where you want your kids to go further in life is through education system. And they're like, you have to study either engineer, doctor, accountant. Anything else, you're just a failure to life. You're an embarrassment to the family. So that was something, or a lawyer actually, because my dad was a lawyer. That was something that my parents felt really passionate about, that you need to go to school. You need to go to university. We know you dance, because my mom got me into dancing when I was 4. But they were like, that's just a hobby. It's not a real thing. And in South Africa, in their defense, it's really, really tough. It's really tough to say, I'm a professional dancer. That's it. Yeah. And they were like, you don't have any other choice. You have to study, and you have to study something that you can support yourself once we're gone. You know how African parents are. They always threaten you with death. Yeah, they literally go, when I'm gone, what are you going to eat? So you have to go to university. And so I was like, yes, they're right. I have to go to university. I have to be with the boy that I was with for 4 years. I have to get married. I have to have 3 kids. And so that for me felt like the route I was going to take. Then I started working and I just didn't like it. I really did. I was like in the middle of nowhere. It was hot. You had to wait for projects. Projects take about 1, 2, in Africa sometimes 3 years to develop. And I was like, I can't. This can't be my story.
Yeah.
And I was in a place where I was starting out as an intern and I wasn't getting paid enough. So I was teaching dance on the side to be able to pay for me to go to work. And I was like, that's not my hobby. My weekend job shouldn't pay for my actual career. That's not, like, it just feels weird to me. And I was like, well, if I'm happy here and I'm making money here and I can survive with my dance money, let me do it full time. And then my mom was like, you can't do it in Africa. I was like, fine, I'll leave. And she went, what? I'm like, I'll go to Germany and I'll do it there full time. And they said, if you leave, we're not helping you.
Oh, right.
We're not helping you financially. We're not helping you with anything. If you decide to leave the house, you're not going to get the car. They bought me a car. I had my own room that it had all TV in it. It's DSTV. I had all the channels. I had everything you could dream of in the house. And they were like, once you leave, all of this is gone and you're going to have to fend for yourself. And I was like, okay, cool. But then they bought me my flight.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then I was like, okay, I have to do this on my own.
And why Germany of all places?
My sister was there already. Mutsi had been in Germany for 10 years, so it felt...
okay, so your sister was there. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
It felt like if I was going to fail, I'd have someone to catch me. Because Mutsi's always been that, I would say, that landing board for me. When I just feel like I'm at my worst, I can't do this, or I'm... In our family, we're very competitive, too much. Where, when you start to see the crazy Oti come out.
Yeah.
She's like, calm down. Like, it's not that deep. Calm down.
Yeah,
so she's always been the older sister, mother figure in my life. And so I knew if anything went wrong, I would always go to my sister. But also Germany is one of the few countries in Europe where they see dance as a sport, which means as a professional dancer, you get financial... Like you get sponsorship, you get endorsements, you have your apartment paid for, travel. So it's seen as a job. You're seen as an athlete and you're trained as an athlete. Where in most countries they see it as an art, so the government doesn't invest in it.
They don't fund it. Oh, right.
And that's why you have so many artists who are failed artists and don't achieve their dreams, but because there's just no funding, there's no help. And as an artist, you need help.
Yeah.
So Germany felt like the right place.
That must have been so good at leaving South Africa where they don't look at what you do as almost as like a job or as a career, to then go to a place where they actually support it openly. Yeah. You've got your sister there as well. What part of Germany was it?
In Nuremberg.
Right.
Yeah. But I also have to say it was a timing thing because Germany is it's a unique country culturally in itself. I would say the time I moved was a time where the country and the people were very receptive to black people, especially in
There's a lot of black people in Germany as well.
Yeah, but especially in television, where they start to go, diversity is a thing. We need a black dancer. We need someone to represent. And I felt really lucky that I came at that point where the doors opened because of that.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot. Whereas when Mutsi came, it was just very like, no, this is new. She came 10 years before me. So it was, no, this is too much. This is extreme. This is a risk. Where I came in, they were like, we need this. Yeah. It makes the show different.
So did you just start learning the language from the off?
No, so the deal was, I leave engineering, but I continue studying in Germany. And so I learned for a year. I went to school every day to learn the language German to get into Erlangen University to study civil engineering there.
Oh, wow.
So
that's like a good Uno reverse.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But it didn't work because I was like, I have to go practice. Like, this is taking my money. It's not giving me money. It's wasting my time. It's delaying my dream. And the dream is to be a champion. And I feel like plan B is taking too much energy and effort from plan A.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to stop.
What's the black community like in Germany? Because I know it's mad because I think sometimes in London, we think that like, oh yeah, because if you go to Paris, you see a lot of black people. It maybe I'd say the other place I've probably been, I've been to Lisbon.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of black people there. But I know in Germany, I think,
Small.
I don't know if I'm right, but I think it's close to like either the first or second biggest population of black people in
Really?
Europe. Yeah, I think it's either Germany, I think it might be Berlin
Yeah.
or Paris. Like London's like third or fourth
Yeah.
in that list.
It's a because Germany, it is a really big country and there are a lot of villages. If there is a black person, there's one black person in that village. So there's not really like a collection. But in the main cities, when you think Frankfurt is the main city, there's a lot of diversity in it. It's different parts of Africa, and you know what it is when you see another person from Africa. You're like, we made it. We're safe.
I've been someplace in the world. As soon as I see one person, I'm like, hey, what's good, man? Yeah, I see you. You see me.
We're family. We're family. Now we're meant to be together. So I mean, when you're in a country like that, where there's not so many people that look like you are automatically put in that position where you represent a lot of people, not just your family. Now it's black people, and then not just black people, then it's African people, and then not African, but then it's black women. So like you're just catapulted into that position. So very early on, because Mutzi's really, really famous in Germany, I knew I had to respect that and protect that for her. And when it came to me, I wanted to emulate that in a way, because we mean a lot to that community and we represent a lot. So Germany became where I learned kind of like how to deal with this world.
Did it feel like you had to work a bit harder because, you know, your sister's well known there?
Yeah.
So you had to be like, well, you know, whenever someone has like a relative or, you know, their dad or their mum, and you're like, and it's a family name, do you know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, you got big shoes to fill because who your sister is. Do you know what I mean?
No, I didn't feel like that. I felt like my sister kicked down all the doors and I just pranced through. Really,
Yes,
it wasn't difficult because people love her there and they trust her, and she's been a part of so many people's households that when I came through, they were like, "What? There's more than one."
Oh, sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? To any event, it's like, we've not got one Mabuse, we've got two. And they're funny and they're loud and they're proud of being South Africans and they speak German. So it was really, really nice to have that blanket that she was when I was there. It got scary for her when I left, because the only thing I felt was when I was in Germany, and this is something that the UK strictly don't do. If you have a certain type of partner, they keep you with that partner forever. So if they go, oh, Oti is really funny, so she'll be with comedians, they just keep you with the same type of personality. Where I was like, this is my ambition, my craziness. This is not going to work for crazy Oti. And when you come here, they change people. They go, oh, you've had a presenter, you can have a comedian, or you can have an actor, or you can have a singer. So they change you. So you get opportunity.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it's just not working. And Mutzi was so big in Germany. They were a little bit scared of letting me rise a little bit as well, because the audience would just turn against us. They would just be like, this is not fair. She shouldn't get that. And so I wanted the opportunity to just grow on my own and be with the show that I felt would just give me more opportunity to be myself, not underneath my sister's name.
Yeah, like you can just branch off and kind of have your own thing
and
to
do
yourself.
the worst. And then she followed me.
Because then you come to the UK, but like when you kind of, so here it's like, I'm reading here and it says, you rose to prominence in in the Latin dance circuit, winning titles as Germany's champion, making a name for yourself in European dance scene. So when you start winning like things and titles and stuff, you know, because now you've left South Africa, your sister's there, and you saying, you're like, well, I don't want to be on the coattails of my sister. I want to do my own thing. So when you start like winning, you know, like these professional dance titles, especially as a black woman in Latin, let's say Latin dance,
a few of us.
That must be such a flex. Because that's like, yo, man's taking over your thing, you know? Like, you need to recognize. And I'm speaking the German as well. So how did that start to feel now that you start to like gain your own kind of success as well within that community?
I think it didn't get, it was just something that I think a lot of dancers, we struggle with. When you're in the moment, you don't appreciate what you have. So the time I left South Africa, I was already 10 times South African champion. And so to get to Germany, whatever accolades or achievement or prizes I got were irrelevant if it wasn't the goal. So it didn't matter if I was vice European champion. I just wanted to be European champion. It didn't matter if I didn't qualify for the world championship because I wanted to be a world champ. So I didn't really reflect on any of that until older, really, until I stopped dancing. And people were like, that was amazing what you achieved. Because you're so focused on what's next. And I definitely am guilty of that I don't really appreciate the moment and stop in time. So a lot of those years, I like the first black dancer to be on German television dancing, didn't take in that moment. The first black dancer to be on Strictly and win it twice, you know, especially as a woman, didn't take that moment in. Now I'm going,
yeah,
I did it.
Yeah.
But now it would have literally, life would have looked completely different for me had I done that in the moment.
It must be quite like pleasing, like being in Germany. You have like going from South Africa, you got your thing. You go to Germany, you got your thing. And you come to the UK, you join Strictly Come Dancing in 2015.
Yeah. I was just a baby.
So when you join, like, because by then the show had been going on
for years,
for quite a bit, for some time. So did you feel like you were stepping into an arena where you're like, it's like, because you just said there where you was just like, well, yeah, I didn't really take it in. Was it just like, yeah, man, I'm doing this thing in the UK just to see how it bubbles, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As opposed to, I feel like now Strictly's at a place where it's like, it stands amongst Saturday night television as like one of its own. I would say probably on a Saturday, it's probably one of the biggest television shows in the country. But then I'm not saying at that time it wasn't, but you had a bit more,
other
you had different shows. Do you know? Well, I think like now you're like, yeah, it's just Strictly on a Saturday.
Or the news. Strictly, the new catchphrase.
Other than that and Saturday Night Takeaway, you're like, yeah, man, that's just the ones running the thing. So like, you know, you joined the show in 2015.
Yeah.
What was your thought process going into it?
So I do this thing in life where when I'm doing something and I've done it for a couple of years, I feel like there's nothing left for me to achieve. Like I've achieved what I need to do. I need to move on. So South Africa was winning the championships, moving on. Germany, I did what I wanted to do, moving on. Again, my family at this point had come around to me living in Germany. And then I go, oh, I'm leaving Germany. I'm going to the UK. And they were like, what? No way. No way.
Yeah,
we just got used to you being in Germany. We like Germany for you. What do you mean you're going to the UK? No one in the family has ever lived there. Mutsi was upset. My parents were upset. And it was my husband who was really like, look, just give it a year. Just try it. If you don't like it, you can always come back to Germany. It's here. We have the school. We have the house. We're settled. We have our life.
And your husband's a dancer as well.
Yeah, he's a dancer as well.
I see him moving his hips, boy, on Instagram.
Little snake hips. And so he was really supportive of me just trying it out. And I knew the UK because we were training and competing. And in my mind, London was Croydon. Because that's the only place where we went.
Oh, really?
And up north was just Blackpool. Because those are the...
Everyone goes to Blackpool. I know about Blackpool, but what's going on in Croydon?
In Croydon is where the top dancers trade.
Oh, really?
And there's a really big dance school there called Semley. Okay. And they had a room and all the top teachers were there and like couples from all over America, Russia, Ukraine, South Africa, everywhere. We trained there. So in my mind, that's all, right?
Yeah.
And over the years, I kept thinking, this country is nice. I'm seeing so many black people, like my shade of black, you know, and they're mixing, and I'm seeing Caribbean, I'm seeing Nigerian, I'm seeing Ethiopian, Eritrea, South Africa. I'm just seeing everything, all the colors. And I'm loving it. So why not give it a shot? So I moved my first year and I was like, I got this. You know, it is what it is, but I got this. I've done the previous Let's Dance strictly in Germany. I was semi-final. How hard can this be? And my first year, week 2, I was out.
Really?
Out. Now you have to think the show is 15 weeks.
Yeah.
I left Germany.
It runs for long,
Oh
man.
my God.
Yeah.
I went to the jungle. I came out. It was still going. So it's like, it is a really long time to just be there in the idea that you left Germany, you left comfort, you left a career that already is growing. You came here and then you're out. So to me, I felt like a complete failure. And my husband was like, so do you want to come back? And I was like, yeah, I'll give Germany another shot. Went back to Germany. And then I got a celeb and I was like, do you know what? Let me see. I feel like I have unfinished business in England. One more series. One more. Because I really liked it.
Yeah.
And then I went back. And I got an amazing celebrity, Danny Mac. And that year is really when everything just started to take off and just completely change for me. And I loved the show. And I became one of the pros. I became friends with them. We started hanging out after the show, having our bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And just really being a part of the UK and understanding the cultures, learning different accents, different types of black people, different types of white people up north. Like just learning. And I think the second year was just a lot more open-minded to the fact that just because you've achieved stuff in the past doesn't mean you know everything and you can do everything. Just calm down, Oti, and take it all in.
Yeah.
And things start to change from there.
Because I've been to the set in L Street and I think I went there for the final maybe and I had to read terms and conditions.
What happens in Strictly stays. In Strictly.
Now, I'd never been to the set before.
Yeah.
I didn't know how hard it was to get on the set.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like you have to, obviously like the audience people have to come and apply. But sometimes my mum will be like, "Oh Mo, like you know people, man. You come probably." And listen. In our world, there's some sets you can get on. Do you know what I mean? If you work within television, like for example, us doing like the Masked Dancer. Yeah. Some people will be like, "Oh, like can I bring my kids?" And their kids will come. You know, comedians, actors, and stuff. They'll come to the show and watch and whatnot. But then, like it was like, like if you want to come on, you got to do something on Strictly. I said, what do you mean? Like, what? There's like, you got to come on and watch, like with your mum. Like, you need to do something.
They tricked you.
They're like, you got to come on a Friday show. It takes 2. They said you got to come on that, and then we might let you come with your mum. I said, right, well, I didn't know it was like this, man. So when I come on, I think I came.
It Takes Two.
I've never done It Takes Two, but I read the terms and conditions, and I'd seen the terms and conditions, and I was like, oh, this is a big deal, isn't it? I didn't know it was such a big deal.
Huge.
And I remember doing it, and it's when I got there and I'm watching it, and I was like, wow, because it's until you take it in and you see it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we work in television and we know we're like, okay, you can tell what's a big production.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, that's a big deal, or okay, they put a lot of money into that. You know, you're seeing like, I'm seeing a lot of cameras there, boy.
She's like 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's one at the top.
You know that? Oh, they're going outside. Yeah, that's a big production, boy. They're going outside. All right, fair enough. That's big, but when you're on there as a program, how much pressure is it as a dancer? Because Eddie Caddy, who we both know, who was on the show, he was telling me how hard it was. But how much is it like in terms of like your physical ability? Because I guess for you as a dancer, it just, it comes natural. But then you're kind of having to teach someone who's never probably danced before in their life. How much is that a strain?
I think it's not so much a pressure problem. It's more an ambition problem, right? Because the blueprint of the show is a non-dancer learns from a professional how to dance. And so sometimes you get people who can dance already. And so, life is fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the difficult part is trying to convince the audience that they've never done Latin or ballroom, and it's really, really tough for them. But they can receive that. They've got their concentration span. They've got that ambition. They've got that vision. And that's really important. And on the other side, you get someone who's never danced before. Or you get the ones who goes, I never cheated. I never took one lesson in dancing. All the pros are like, oh my God, this is just a lot of work. I'm so happy for you, but this is a lot of work for me. The thing is, these two people who are competing for this thing called dance are competing in the same competition. And they have to be judged. Yeah. So as a professional, you have to really, really, in your head, get this non-dancer to dance like someone who's got experience, or create such a vibe around them that people love them so much for the fact that they can't dance and that they are non-dancers, and then they're really trying. So what happens with the show is that people fall in love with the ones who are really trying, and then they don't like the ones who can do it already.
Yes.
So you get two different types of ambition. You get, I really want to win with someone who's never danced before, and that's amazing. But this one is like, I really want to be remembered and create some iconic routines with you because I can. So it's different types of pressure. But either way, usually by week one, you like, okay, I know who's winning and I know why who's winning. But for me, my pressure was because the first year I was out, I hated that feeling. I was like, I never wanted to be out.
I know you dancers don't play around, boy. Eddie said like, yeah, man, you got back straight, all of that. You can't, you know, Eddie was like, yeah, man, I moved my hips. They're like, nah, bro, none of that stuff.
Yeah, Eddie was so much fun because Eddie was like, I didn't dance with him, but he's got rhythm, you know, he's got that African rhythm, which is so good. But that African rhythm don't work for ballroom. We're like, no.
Not for the paso doble, bro.
The neck. I was like, put shoulders down, head. And he's like, I remember doing it with Melvin, and Melvin was like, you're like a drill sergeant, this is hard. But because it's so foreign to us, to everything that we do, my pressure came from every year trying not to be the first out. Yeah. That was it. But it never really came from the show. You get to a point where the production is like, guys, calm down. Like, nobody's getting fired.
Because
it's a good time.
I always think with dancers, you guys just by nature, you are just competitive. It's like whenever I've done like Soccer Aid, us as celebs are just going in there like, it's a bit of football. But the guys who have actually played football, they're not playing around because they're like, listen, we've done this for a living.
This is our thing.
Yeah, this is our thing, and we know each other. And as much as, and it's almost like, I guess it's like, I can't really for a sport where you're like, can't really let you have one up on me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it must, I don't know if it feels the same where you're like, yeah, like I kind of do take this serious because listen, when I see them put up them flaps, them paddles, it's the pressure. I'll be watching the TV like, nah, I couldn't hack it, man.
You couldn't hack it. It's getting criticized on your face, but I think we're used to it. I started dancing when I was 4, and a lot of the professionals as well have been dancing their whole life. It's what we do, but that competitiveness, I believe that it creates magic as well, because unless you want to be better than your previous performance, you won't grow. You start to resent where you are. It is the biggest show in television, and everybody wants that job. If you don't have that competitiveness, I feel like you're wasting an incredible opportunity. So you have to be ambitious. You have to be driven. You have to be creative.
Yeah.
But then with the judges, I know a lot of the professionals say we're listening, but we're not taking it in, you know, because the goal is not what the judges think or the goal is what the celebs think. That is the person that we're trying to help them with their confidence, help them with the dancing. That is not for me.
Yeah, I can't lie. I see you lot where you like...
Yeah, we're like...
Okay.
No.
I'm like, yeah, like I'm like looking at your eyes. I'm like, did they care or did they not care?
No, it's not even a care thing. I think you get so you really care about the person that you've been partnered up with, and you want to protect them. And so, like for me earlier on, I was like, look, they're gonna have their opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Of course.
I need you to just focus on the journey that we are on. They're comparing us with other people, but when we're not competing against other people, we are just trying to get you to dance. And in my Delulu world, everyone I dance with, I tried to turn into a world champion.
Yes,
in 4 days.
Yeah.
And so you just tell them, you're going to get criticized, but you need to have a little bit of hard skin, because it is tough. It is hard. And you will get told by Craig that you're boring, but you go, it happens. Not everybody's going to like it. And sometimes when they love it, that also happens. It's not a reflection on you. It's just a reflection on the dance or the moment or how they're feeling.
And I guess it's also letting people know it's just entertainment, isn't it?
That's the thing.
Personal. It's entertainment, and it's hard. I guess it's hard with anyone trying something that is at their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And taking it really seriously. Who come from entertainment, but it's like, yeah, but I actually kind of want to be a bit good.
Yeah,
you know
but and it's also really exposing, because you're essentially getting to know someone, and you're being cut or videoed in it for them. For a lot of presenters who are used to speaking, they're not used to like communicating without using words. Actors as well, they're used to talking and being other people. It's very exposing for them, because now they have to be themselves and they have to discover who they are. Comedians, and one thing I learned about comedians are always ready with the wit.
Yeah.
But when you're dancing, it's like, this is hell, man. I do a 2-hour show and I'm talking and people love me. Here I'm dancing 7 days a week and people hate me. It's really, really tough.
Yeah.
And it's really exposing, and you have to have thick skin. And I think the people who rise come out like shining stars, and then the people who don't learn a huge lesson.
What's it like being judged by a sister? Because
it's
that must be quite hard.
Listen, if you have sisters or brothers, you get judged all the time anyway. Yeah.
But having your sister have the paddle and be like, no, 6, I'll be like, yo, watching the WhatsApp group, watch. I'm going to tell mum what happened, bro. How dare you?
Exactly. All the time. And my mom is also such a huge Strictly fan, but not just like I watch the show and I enjoy it. She is I'm in the face group, chat groups. If you guys come for my daughters, I'm coming for you. She's that mom. But if Mutsi would be like 5, she's like, what are you doing? Literally in the group. And I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, yeah, mama, she gave me 5, and I work so hard. And then she goes, these judges, they're just jealous. And my mom was like, but Mutsi would be like, you're talking about me. Yeah. And I would write her privately. I'm like, I guess you're not coming home for Christmas.
Yeah, because I guess it's like, there is a part of it, you're like, you leave what you leave.
Yeah.
On television. But family's family, so there must be a bit where you're like, yeah, cool.
No, but
let me ask you something.
Honestly,
what happened with that score 7 though? Like, let me just...
No, do you know what happened? I think it was really good actually for me and Mutsi to be on the same show, because, and this is not just my media trained answer. For her, she came onto the show and it was her first year, and she had to prove that she was good enough. So me being there had to elevate her, because now people are watching us and they're thinking, oh, you're scoring her because she's your sister. And for me, I didn't have a choice but to be amazing, so that if she gave me a score, people wouldn't be like, why would you give your sister a 9? Obviously, it was because she's your sister. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really put the pressure on both of us to just elevate ourselves beyond anything that we could imagine, because it's not like Germany where she was first. I was here first, and so we had to, and also it's a bigger show with bigger focus. We had to be at peak performance every single time, so that people wouldn't think it's unfair. Yeah, I didn't want to put her in a position where she had to score me a score that I didn't deserve, and she didn't want. She was like, "Girl, you better dance because people are watching us." So it brought the best out of both of us. I have to admit, I never pushed myself that much to a point where I won both years, because it was like, if you're bad, it just looks bad on both of us. And we didn't have that. We couldn't relax. And I think the first time she relaxed was when I wasn't on the show anymore and I'd moved on.
She got,
Because she's like, oh,
I ain't gotta
finally,
judge my sister,
I
man.
don't have to judge my sister. People
fair
aren't really
enough.
going to criticize my score. Like, now she can just enjoy the show. And so can I. Now I can just sit at home and enjoy the show.
And be like, oh, shoulders aren't beckoning.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like,
I would never.
yeah.
And then obviously that you won as well. So I could imagine, obviously, you know, you've won things in the past through dancing, but you won with here with Kevin Fletcher and of course fellow comic Bill Bailey. So like, what's it like winning? Because like I've seen it on TV, and when it starts, like when it gets to the crunch of, and the amount of viewers that the BBC gets is insane. Like you're talking like, you know, especially at a time when was it 2019, when you won at 2019, you're talking like 6-7 million people watching. So what does that feeling feel like? Because is it a feeling of, okay, we won? It must be nice that we won. We're the best.
Yeah.
We're the best here amongst everybody. But it must be quite nice endorsing, because it's the public doing that. Do you know what I mean? It's not down to the judges. And I guess within your field, when you're doing it professionally, it's like a judge. It's a judge's vote. You know, do I look the part? Did I turn the right way? Did I smile properly? But this is the public endorsing you. And how does that feel? Does it make you feel more at home?
I think that is probably my favorite part, that the final is determined by the audience, you know, and the effort that you put in throughout the show is split between you and your celebrity. They're taking on a new skill that they've never done before, but they also have to be likable, which is very sometimes difficult. If people connect to you, they connect. If they don't, then they don't. And I think the fact that I don't necessarily think the best dancer always wins, but the one that people connect with wins. And I think that's the part that I love, that people really connect with you. They pick up their phones, they vote, they call, they make emails, and then they vote online. Like they go on iPlayer, they're invested, they go on YouTube and they go, oh, I want to watch that again. You've connected with over 10 million people, enough for them to say that you're our winner. You're the one that brings us the most joy on Saturday. That
must be a nice feeling.
It's an incredible feeling. And also, there's not, at that point, 15 weeks later, there's not a lot of self-belief, you know? Yeah. You don't know who's winning. We don't see the vote. So in your mind, it's not you. It's just never you. And why would it be you? And when the moment comes, when they say your name, you're just like, wow. This is unbelievable first, but the realization later is like people really, really enjoyed just you, your celeb. They really connected to them. I was really lucky with the people that I was with, and they worked hard, and it showed, and it paid off.
So when you decide to leave now, you know, which was only not so long ago, it was what 2022, when you done the Mask, because you was on The Greatest Dancer as well. You was a captain, but in 2022 you was a panelist on The Masked Dancer, we were speaking about earlier. So when you leave a show that I guess can feel very, you know, like quite comfortable, you're like, it's home's comfortable. Also, people, you know, it's like it's a BBC audience. You're like, you guys know me for this,
and they love you for that, right?
So then, how did it feel? Because we speaking about how, you know, what you was like in terms of in your dressing room and feeling comfortable. But then what was it like then joining a show on a panel where, because I remember my first time of doing the Masked Dancer, where I'm sitting there, I'm like, right, you got Davina there, Rita's over there, Joel, and I'm the new kid. And I'm sitting there like, is anyone really gonna like me?
Is this
like,
real?
Because I can understand how exposing it is, but also you're joining a show where your people know you as a dancer. And I feel like what's always really nice about Strictly is we kind of have an image of the dancers in some ways. Like we don't know them, but we feel like we know them, but we just know them as a dancer. We see them at a certain time of the year. So it could be odd to even see them like, oh, summertime, you doing that thing. So how was it for you? Because now you've got to show us your personality, you know. How was that for you joining the masked dancer.
I
when you joined it?
was so excited. You know, I love that show. I mean, I was
You was good, man.
I love it. Put a challenge in front of me. I'm like, I get so into it. Even like TikTok, put a finger down challenge. I'm like in it, you know. And I felt like, again, a thing that I do. I had won twice at that point. I had been on the show for 7 years. If you win the strict, that is the goal. And I reached the goal twice. And it was like, oh, now what's next? And this amazing opportunity came and to do the masked dancer. And I was like, I have to prove myself. It wasn't like, do people like me? It was like, I have to earn my place here. So I have to be good at everything. Anybody who walks out, I'm like, bite the walk. I know it's you. So I was like, maybe even overcompensating to prove that I deserved to be on the panel. Yeah. And I talk a lot. I talk nonstop. It was also that this is the first time people are going to hear me speak nonstop. You could be like, oof, I'm not keen on her. This is too much. Or you could be like, I love how enthusiastic she is about the show. Yeah. But that didn't even play my mind. I just wanted to prove that I deserved to be there because it was my one chance. Dancers don't get that opportunity to go from shut up and just let your celeb shine to now we're actually putting you in that position. You are the focal point.
And it doesn't happen to a lot of dancers as
well. No, not at all. Like,
I'm
so lucky. Like, I'm really, really grateful for ITV, and I still say that to this day because at a moment where I thought I was going to leave, a lot of dancers disappear, especially as females, you know. And here's this channel going, come on, we really, really love you and we'll put you on every show under the sun, whatever you want, we want you. And I was like, yes, I feel like I was really, really lucky. And so I really wanted to prove myself. And so when I got there, I thought, I'm on Strictly. I know big shows. I'm used to big production. The masked dancer was huge. It was nuts. It was wild. I was like, this is the best thing ever. Even I looked shy, like in that set around you guys. And I was like, I'm doing a show next to Jonathan Ross, Davina, Mo, Joel. And also the producers of Strictly were very supportive as well because I did both.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and they were like, get Jonathan to do the show. Get Mo. Get Davina. Like, I pitched all of you for the show, and you all went, nah.
Oh, no, I had the call to I was like,
you were like, too much work.
I was like, I don't know, you know.
Too much
13
work.
weeks. I don't know. It's mad because I done dance a little bit when I was in college.
I know. You did study dance, did you?
Yeah, so we done Bob Fosse and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Listen, we done all of that stuff, man. And then we done some contemporary. And so I know it's that thing where it's like, oh, come and do it. You'd be great on it.
It's just 4 hours a day.
And they're like, have you done dance before? No, man. Listen, you'll be all right. The dancers will teach you everything. You know I learned this on have you done Bake Off yet?
Yes.
Yeah. So Bake Off.
It looks easier than what it is, right? Oh my word, there's so much pressure.
Listen, I done Bake Off. I was like, listen, I don't bake, you know. I
don't bake.
They said, it's going to be fine. Listen, we basically teach you how to do everything. You know, all the things are there. Listen, we get in the tent. I'm all vibed. What's going on? You all right? Good to see you, Noel. All right. Paul Hollywood. And bakers, start. I said, so what? What's going on here? If you watch my back here, there's a part where I had to cook these biscuits and make an apple jam. They're like, what would you like? I said, I like apples. I like apple juice. They're like, well, great, make an apple jam.
Yeah.
With like biscuits and cream. I said, yeah, man. Listen, there's one part I'd never forget. I was sipping, what's it called again? I was sipping cider on the side, yeah? And they were filming. And it was like, they said, Mo, how you getting on? I said, yeah, man, I'm having a great time, man. I said, my apple jam is simmering.
It's jamming.
I was chilling. They said, bakers, 1 hour. And the producer came up to me, she was like, yeah, man, if you can get going. Because I said, I thought someone was making it. He said, nah. Listen up. I've never been more stressed in. Listen, I never forget this. Yeah, I need to speak about this one day. I never forget this. The next day, we stayed at a hotel that was close by.
Yeah.
I was online on YouTube looking at how to bake properly. I came in early. They was like, okay, great, we're gonna make jam scones. I was so serious, Oti, I swear to you. So I said, listen, whatever you think you're gonna do to me on this Strictly, no, be fine. You don't need to learn it. I said, no, I've had that before already.
I've learned my lesson.
You cannot trick me. But nah, I think what I loved about you on Dancer, Oti, you were like, obviously you know dancing, like you really do know it. But like you was able to like really show your personality in a show that people just know you for dancing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You blended in so quickly. By the time it's like it finished in terms of like by the time it recorded, I was like you know when you see someone and you're like, oh, Oti's just got it, man. Do you know what I mean? Well, we all know it in this field where we're like, that person's got it. You're good to go, man. So then you went on from that and then you done Dancing on Ice as well.
Yeah.
So then how is that? Because do you still have to put the same ingredients in terms of like showing your personality, but it's on ice? Do you know what I mean?
What I really loved, and I had this conversation with Katie Rawcliffe, head of entertainment, is I was very nervous
about Katie, by the way.
Big up Katie. We love Katie.
Good peoples, man.
Katie loves dance. She loves dance. She used to be a dancer before, and I was like, I'd really love to present. I'd really like to be able to do both, really, and I feel like I've known her now for years. She slowly transitioned me into doing the things that I love to today, right? So I started with dancer, which is something that is in my field, the expert. I named the steps and everything. Dancing on Ice was the same thing, where even though it's not skating, it's art. It's partnership, it's connection, it's movement, it's entertainment. It's just an entertainment show, right? It's not that serious. It's just there for people to sit on a Sunday night and enjoy it. Whether you like someone or not, just get involved, just get invested with it. And so all of that, I feel like Katie was like, I know you want to do this thing, but let's do it slowly. And I was like, no. And just like, slow down, Oti. We're just going to transition you into it, because nobody's ever just done the leap like that, especially outside of the brand. And so it took a couple of years to get to a point where I go, I really want to be a broadcaster and presenter. But with the Dancing on Ice and Must Dancer, I've learned so much about how to communicate with people, I'm South African, we're so brutally honest, like we're too much. So I'd had to like...
Yeah, I remember that time I tripped over. Never forget that, boy. You let me know, you do. Let's listen.
I censored myself on camera. Let me say that. Yeah, off camera, I'm a different person. I'm going to tell you about yourself.
What event did I see you at? It was the thing, the ITV thing. And I see you.
The ITV
Palooza. And I think they announced, there was like, and we got Mo doing the Brits. Woo! Then it basically, in this Palooza, they announced all the new ITV shows. So anyone who's ITV talent, you go. And like first row, you got like Ant and Dec.
Yes,
you
Holly.
got like, everyone's there. Them first 6 rows, you've got everyone there. And I remember they announced that I was doing the Brits, and I was like proper nervous.
Really?
I was so nervous.
You didn't look nervous.
I was so not when I think when I'd done it, I'd got time to kind of get used to it, but nobody knew. So I was holding on to this information. I was nervous. So when they was like, yeah, Mo's doing it, I was like, oh, you lot are telling everyone, yeah? Oh, I love that, man. Chill. So then I remember, I think that's the first time I went to the Palooza.
Yeah, same.
And I was there. And you just look for your people. When it's done, you're like, who do I know it? I see AJ. All
no,
right,
it's my friends.
AJ.
What
we saying? Judy Love. All right, cool. Ashley Banjo. Jordan. Yeah. Oti. And I walk to you. The trip.
Never fall in front of me.
The trip was tripulating. Listen, you know what's funny, yeah? Why people be like, hey, are you okay? Oh my God, I'm going to make sure that they move that speaker. And I tried to pass it off and you were like, oh, you tripped. You tripped? I was like, yeah, you're right, Oti. You're right, yeah? Yes, but the trip, don't book a flight because you might trip. I said, Oti, lie, man. Chill, man.
It was so fun. Oh, no, this is too
and
much.
then I see you somewhere else. I see you at another event. And then you said, I was like, what's going on, Oti? Right? I'm good. Don't trip again. Remember the trip? I said, allow me, man. Let me live, man.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry. For me, I love, it sounds bad, but I love when people fall, especially in front of me. Oh my God, it was the best thing. Also, it's because I remember you were wearing like the suede suit.
Yeah, man.
It looked nice, and you kept doing this, and then you're in kutu. Oh, made my night. It made my
the trip was
night.
If anyone would have seen that trip, you would have been like, Mo really tripped, you know?
But everybody went, are you all right?
Yeah, everyone's like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, cool, man, cool.
What?
Come. You said, the trip. I said, allow me, man. Allow me, man.
You're like, Oti, calm down. I couldn't let it go. Oh, man.
But speaking of a trip, you took a trip last year.
That was so smooth.
That was smooth, innit? You go to Australia.
Oh, my God, yes.
And you go into the jungle. Yeah. Now, I only know one other person that's gone into the jungle, which was Babatunde. He told me all about it. How was your experience in there? Because you seemed so...
happy.
But you seem so comfortable.
It was.
For everyone who keeps telling me, he's like, yeah, like Baba, to this day, he's like, bro, there's spiders in there. There's real bugs in there. There's snakes in there. So how was it for you, man, when you're in there?
Honestly, one of the best experiences I've ever had. Really. But I was with a really good group. Yeah. And I think the year before, it wasn't Babatunde's year, but the year before was such a hard year. And everybody who went in my year was kind of conscious of each other's energy. Yeah. And we went out to create good television. We were just ourselves. And it was, I love rice. Anyway, I could literally eat rice and gravy all day. Yeah. So when you're like, Oti, make rice, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm happy. And so I learned so much about myself. There was one time, I don't sleep really well. And I think I talk about it. It's not a thing. And I just had the baby. And there was one night where we literally slept nonstop for about 10, 11 hours, the whole cast. And we took 2 naps. Like the rest that you get, there's no phone, there's no TV, there's no timetable, there's no time. Yeah. So the days just feel endless. And I told you I talk a lot, but I'm getting to know people because I didn't personally know everyone. Yeah. And so I'm taking the time to get to know these people. And they're just being really open with me. And I wasn't doing so many challenges in the beginning, so I had just time to just sit with myself and think about my priorities, think about what I'm going to change when I'm on the outside, deal with a lot of trauma that I thought I didn't have. And when you're in there, you go, phew, man, I need therapy. You know, you have time.
You have time to like really reflect
and your thought. Sometimes your thoughts can either go really positively or really negatively. And for me, my thoughts were really negative. And it was just good to be around a group of people that I could just talk about my negative thoughts. And I mean, we had a priest. We had, Rev Richard Cole. I'm black. I'm going to talk to the priest. So I would speak to the reverend and we would talk about God. We would talk about thoughts. We would talk about my baby, my daughter. We would talk about just everything under the sun. But then you also had people with their own issues. And you go, I was thinking last night you said this. Do you think this would have changed? And we ended up as a group getting over so many hurdles together that it didn't feel anymore like we were on a reality show making television. It just genuinely felt like we were there to just fix our own childhood traumas. Yeah,
that must feel nice with being in a place as well, so confined, even though it is on television, but with people that are in a similar world to you or are in worlds that you're like, wow, like, I only know you as this person. Yeah. I've only ever seen online, but like you're so relatable.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That must be quite refreshing.
It was nice also because with everything that we've spoken about today, everything people have seen about me was hair done, makeup done, like always just only talking about dance.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time I feel like people just got to know who I was outside of, we just like it when she's quiet and she entertains us and she makes us happy on a Saturday night. It was just genuinely getting to know the person. And I hadn't had that opportunity before because I didn't grow up here. Yeah. So it was like a speed course into people getting to know me. And I had Melvin in there who was like my brother, and he held me down and I held him down. And like today he's literally like one of my best friends. And we continue to talk. But you need that. You need that when you feel a bit shit and you feel tired and you feel like I can't do this anymore, because there are spiders in the toilet. You do have to change actually the toilet where everybody goes, and then you have to fetch the water. You do have to sleep with mosquitoes, frogs, and spiders. Like, it is hard.
That's mad.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But you the gain, the reward after that is so much better. Like even Ant and Dec are amazing. We all know them, but we only see them for an hour. So they don't even become like the focal part of the show. It's just that time spent with people and learning skills of how to get through hard time that for me, I'm like, it was one of the best experiences, best shows ever.
What was it like when your husband came in?
Oh,
because I felt like that was like, on the show, a lot of people have like their moment, whether it was they're facing their fears, but I felt like, you seeing your husband after however long, just felt like everyone could relate to that at home. You know what I mean?
It was really, because I left my daughter at that point, I don't even remember, she was just over a year. And I'd never been away from her that long. And it gets to a point where you go, okay, like, I think I'm done now. Like how strong, how long can I be strong for? And they told us, Oti, there's something wrong with your mic. Please can you go check it? And so they took me down a route, and I'm like, why can't you fix your mic? This is ITV. Why are we having mic problems? Like, and we're in the jungle. I hate walking along. Why are you doing this to me? And when I saw his face, it just broke me, and it made me like you just need that comfort. Like, my husband is my comfort. He's my protector. He's like my love. And when I saw this person that I love so much, that I was really thirsty for, I mean, I just broke down. I cried, and I just held him. And then it was so emotional, because he even brought me our daughter's clothes to smell. And like it was just like the whole thing was like the most amazing feeling. And then, when you see you live with your partner, you live with them every day, you go, hi, you go to work, I'll see you soon. But like now, since then, saying hi to him and bye just means something completely different.
Yeah. Because
we had that 3 weeks apart. It now really feels special when we reconnect. And with my daughter, really, because I feel like, I missed 3 weeks. That's a lot. So I wanted to catch up. And just the connection that we have now, the three of us, is amazing. It really brought a lot to us.
I guess it's that classic phrase where, like, when absence makes the heart grow fonder. Do you know what I mean? Where you realise you're like, as much as I get to do this television thing, and sometimes we can think, it's a long day, 6 to 12, and that's a long day, I miss you. But then you're like, oh wow, I've not seen you in 2 weeks. And you might call them, FaceTime them, but it's not the same as being home, and you're like, I can be myself. Yeah. I can relax. I'm not on. Do you know what I mean?
And he was really like my motivation as well. I mean, when we were in there was a game that I actually won, right? That meant that for 2 weeks you get to stay longer. And he was just like, babe, go. Now this is what we call second gear. Like, you've done well. Now we push. Now when it gets hard and everybody feels like, just get me out of here, and like, I can't do this anymore. This is where we, as a family, we push the second gear and we go. And he's like, now set fire to these bitches. He's like, set fire to the, and I was like, yeah. So for me, while I was in there, the hard times, it was the letter, it was the clothes, it was him just saying, you've got this, go for it. That really motivated me to to love it, but to give it my all every single time.
And talking about second gear, third gear, or fourth gear, like you're on tour, right? In June 2025.
Yeah.
How does that feel going back on the road? Because it's not easy going back on the road. Do you know what I mean? It's like, listen, I know, boy, it's not easy, man. But I guess it must feel like when you get to see the people that come and support you, that are phoning in for Strictly or for the Jungle, or, you know, like buying your new book that's coming out as well. How does that, like, it must be nice seeing the faces of the people that make your dream a reality, you know.
100%. And I feel like in this country, you really can't do anything without people by your side, without people to enjoy your energy, to enjoy your art. And I'm really lucky that I get to do all these amazing things, but also stay true to me. Yeah. And that's dancing. And that is being in a theater, seeing people, entertaining them, telling stories, and seeing how dance can make you feel. It can make you want to dance. It can make you cry. It can make you frustrated. You can learn a few things about yourself. Mm-hmm. And when they were like, do you want to tour again? I went, what? Are there people who want to see me tour? They were like, yes. Do you know who you are? Yeah. And so I felt really lucky that I was able to tour, but also that I'm still able to dance after having my daughter as a mom, you know, new challenges. And now I'm gonna do it soon. I'm very nervous, but I'm excited because I have the opportunity, and I think every opportunity is an opportunity. Like even with the book, where they were like, Oti, do you want to write a book? And because I've written 4 children's books, I was like, I can do a children's book. And they're like, no, for adults. Yeah. Do you want to do that? Because you'll be working through your holiday. And I was like, oh my God, I wanted for the opportunity. But it's a lot. And I've learned so much. Again, it's like another side to me that I get to learn. But whether it's dancing or writing the book, it's something that I'm still very passionate about, which is the dancing. And just discovering other sides. Again, not a lot of people get to do the things that I've been able to do.
Yeah, of course.
And so I'm really grateful, and I'm taking the opportunity as like I'm in a lucky position, and I'm going to do them while I still can.
You know what I like about you, Oti, yeah? You're like a proper big optimist. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, you have to be. But like, I think sometimes we can get a lot of opportunities and we're on to the next one. And sometimes we can do things that are big, and we can do things, you know, like you look at your career of like winning dance awards and becoming, you know, someone in Germany, to then the UK, doing a book, doing a tour. I see the brand deals as well. Hey, come on. But no, you're such an optimist in terms of like, I feel like your future has no end. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like in terms of what you're able to do and what you're able to achieve. And that brings me to my last question. In terms of your end, like in a short space of time, you've done so much. So do you start to like map out your future in some ways? And I know like your husband as well, your husband's a dancer. So you're both within that same scene. You're a household name. Do you know what I mean? You're a brand, yourself and your sister. You're like a brand name, which is quite rare in television. Yeah. You know, it's not every day that someone's brother and sister or sisters
and they like each other.
How do you start to kind of map out, you know, the part of Oti that is, you know, you start bringing them all together, whether it's the brands or becoming an author or television presenter and an author. I know you've got your own dance company as well. Do you map that out now, or is it a thing of like you're saying where you're like, well, on to the next one. I'm going to put everything in it. I'm going to enjoy the moment and see where it takes me. Or are you in a place now where you're like, yeah, like I know I'm not lucky, but how do you start to maneuver that now more for the later part of your career?
That's such a good question. A lot of it is luck. I'm lucky that, let me say, I appreciate that people connected with me, that I was able to be a part of this incredible show that launched me to do other things. But the reason why I say I feel really lucky is because I can still see people still doing the same things who want to launch, but don't have that opportunity, or it's not the right time for them, or it's just a no, which is really difficult, that they have to face that reality, whereas I have all these doors that are open for me. And so right now, mapping my future is, and I remember talking to Alicia Dixon about this, because I was like, what's next? And she's like, you do it again. Whatever you're doing, you do it again. You have your child and you focus on providing for her and doing whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that she's okay. But whatever you've achieved in your career and you feel like I'm content, you're like, no, girl, we don't get comfortable. We do it again and we keep pushing. So it's being open to choices, is throwing myself in the deep end. I do Big Brother and I put my opinions out there and I'm guys, people like it or they hate me.
Yeah.
But I still do it because I love the show. But it's being open to every single opportunity, and what comes and what doesn't, then it wasn't meant for me. But at the moment, a lot is coming. Yeah. I'm overwhelmed, but I love it. I want to be like you, Mo.
Me? Listen.
That's it. I want to be in America touring. I want when people open their TikToks, it's me giving other people a chance to tell their jokes. I want to be on TikTok seeing some jokes. And on Instagram be like, does this guy live in his car? Like, does he live? My life, I want my life to be like you.
No, my life is very normal.
It's not. No,
it is. I swear to you.
You cannot say your life is normal.
No, do you know what it is, right?
You are a hit in 2 countries.
No, but like, I think with my life, I seek out normality more than I ever have.
Yes.
Because I love the things that bring me back down to earth. Like, so I'm allowed to do some really cool stuff. And there are times where I'm like, Rod, that is crazy. What's happening right now? I really do seek out normality because like I love spending time with my family. I think more now than ever. It's like you're saying, like now when you go home, my home is at my safe place. Yeah. I can be myself. Yesterday, I fell down the stairs. And
I wish I would have seen it.
Listen, the reality of me falling down the stairs, it really puts life into perspective where I was like, I could have died.
Yeah, all of this could end in 1 second.
Right now. But I do, like, I seek out those parts of normality within our lives that, you know, one day we're just, you know, with our family doing something very, very normal, taking the rubbish out, X, Y, Z. And then the next, you can be on a red carpet somewhere and you're like, okay, cool. But also knowing when I go to those red carpet things, I don't know what it's like for you now, but I'm at a place where I'm like, I just want to get some nuggets now and go home now.
I enjoy them.
You know, I love going to them, but it gets to a point where I'm like, I can't.
That's because you're famous now. You're like Oscar,
I'm not,
Grammy, man. Like you're Emmy famous now.
No, I'm not there. I'm not there.
NTA,
listen, I can't lie.
Kind of Brit famous now.
I thought I'd get my what's it called? My Met Gala invite this week, but it didn't come in it.
Not yet. One more tour.
I was ready to wear some long shirts.
And a little suit. That's it. With that hat.
With a monocle.
Yeah,
that's what I was.
That's it.
One thing I've always loved is like, if I ever go to an event, see someone like yourself there, Melvin and everyone else, it's just that feeling where you're like, yeah, I get to do this, but it's so nice when you get to mix it with people. You're like, genuine. You get into a room and you're like, you know, we look at each other like, hey man, we're the only black ones here, you know, boy. Let's just. But no, Oti, it's been a pleasure, man, to have you on the pod.
Thank you.
I genuinely mean that, man.
Genuinely have never laughed so hard on a pod.
No,
my
thank you so
makeup
much for coming on the pod, man. One, it's been good to like proper see you though, man, because obviously we always see each other in passing, innit?
No,
do you know what I mean?
Like
an
LA,
event
in a
or
nice
something.
Car.
No, I'm not in LA no more, man. I'm back out there soon though. I'm back out there in June, July, you know.
Yeah, come on.
But no, it's been good to connect with you, man, because like I'm so proud of like what you do. And also it's just like some people like forget is like who you're representing, man. There's young black women out there, and I know the black women out there watching, and you're really representing them in a way that's your authentic self. Do you know what I mean? You give your opinions on a Big Brother. You can be like that kind of mother on the jungle where you know you are cooking people rice, but also like you're a very good dancer. Do you know what I'm saying? I see some of the small TikTok videos and stuff. Yeah. And I see you with like Ashley and Jordan and them lot. And I'm like, right, boy, I can't listen. Please don't make me do none of these. Hey man, we've got an idea. So I do this and I'm like, Oti, I'm not the one. I can't. Melvin will do it. I don't know if I'm the one, man. What's the one I see you do the other day?
He hates it so much.
There was one you done the other day with the lady. She's in
Ash.
I said, I did clashing. I said, rotted it. I said, Oti, please don't. Hey man, I've got an idea. Quick, because people want me to do this, you know. Hey, I go this way. Listen, I can't do it, man. I can't, man.
Not my
But no,
thing.
thank you for joining the pod, man.
Oh.
Thank you so much,
No,
man.
thank you for having me.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate it if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.